Sean Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and what we're going to do today is we're going to do a pulp juice off. Yeah, so it's a bit different than a yield juice off, but we're still going to check the yields. I recently got a customer that said, hey John, I got the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, and it's just making a lot of pulp, man, more than like my Vert 350 and more than other juicers I have used in the past. And the thing I have to say about that is that all vertical juicers, man, no matter what brand you get, will make more pulp than any other juicer in the whole wide world. Luckily, certain juicers include, stainless steel strainers, but some of them do not actually. The Slowstar Juicer actually includes a really nice stainless steel strainer that I'm not using today. So the reason for this episode is to show the amount of pulp created. Now keep in mind, in general, the vertical juicers make the most pulp, and in that category, juicing certain things in the vertical juicers will produce more pulp than others. So, for example, juicing like soft apples will create a lot of pulp, Things like that are fruits, and certain fruits, specifically, they don't have a nice texture to them, nice, hard, firm, crisp texture, will generally make more pulp than other items. In addition, it's very important to feed and use the juicer properly by pre-cutting certain produce items and alternate feeding what you're feeding in, to assure that you don't get a backup situation. If you do get a backup situation, then the pulp even goes up further. So be sure to check my videos. I have a video on how to make a green juice in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer and a video on using the Slowstar Juicer so that you can use my best practices that'll minimize the amount of pulp that is created. Even if using those practices, yes, you will get some pulp, so I like to strain, that pulp out with the little strainer after I'm done. Of course, pulp is just a preference thing. No problem with drinking the pulp if you don't mind it, but some people just don't like the pulp. So if you really don't like the pulp, then maybe the vertical juicers are not the ones for you, unless you like to straight it out. So in this episode, we're going to juice something that makes actually a fair bit of pulp. We got these cucumbers here, and these are the Persian cucumbers. These are the kind I like to juice the most. They have like a non-bitter skin, so that's very important to me. I guess I won't get into any of the details of these two machines. Be sure to check the links down below in the description for links to these machines with their specific dedicated videos and more information about them. I just want to go ahead and turn these juicers on and get juicing these cukes. The main thing to remember is that I've weighed out these cucumbers. They're both 1.942 pounds of cucumbers, so we're starting with an even amount. We're going to juice them both, and let's see if we can even do it at the same time. Turn these machines on, and the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer has a 3-inch wide feed chute, so no cutting. In the Slowstar Juicer, actually smaller things will fit in without any cutting as well. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and continue to put these cucumbers in the machine. Now, one of the things to know about the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer is sometimes, you get a little backup situation in this little feed chute, so you may want to use the pusher to push things in. And I've noticed even if you use the pusher to push things in, some things still remain unjuiced in the feed chute, which is going to lower your yield. On the Slowstar, that doesn't necessarily happen. What we're going to do on the Slowstar is use the new cucumber to push the last cucumber in, and on the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, literally just put the whole cucumber in there. So as you guys can see, this is working fairly well. The Kuvings actually is making some, some foam and some pulp, as is the Slowstar Juicer as well. One of the things I'm noticing is that we will need to use the pusher to push the produce in the machines. On the Slowstar and on the Kuvings Whole, there is some residual pulp that we're going to try to get in the machine because this will affect the yield. Let's go ahead and continue to juice with both these machines here. Right, looks like I'm actually a little bit faster in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, and that's not a joke because it has a 3-inch wide feed chute. Things just feed and take a little bit longer to feed into the Slowstar Juicer here. Right down to 2 last cucumbers, 1 for each of them. So the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer is basically auto feeding. Because these cucumbers are a fat diameter and actually barely fit in the feed chute hole, I am having to push them in. If you did pre-cut them in half lengthwise, you would be able to drop them in and they would be fairly auto feeding in this machine as well. This guy's actually a fair bit larger, so we're going to have to go ahead and shove that guy in, but in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, not a problem, drop her in. And we'll use this little pusher here to push in a little bit and give it a head start. Alright, so we just got the last cucumber in the Slowstar Juicer. As you guys can see, we got the pulp here, we got the pulp over here, and let's check in the pulp here. This pulp, a few drips off of it. Let's check this pulp. Now they're about the same. You know, the pulp is fairly wet with the cucumbers. Next, let's go ahead and turn off these machines and check the yield. We're going to go ahead and put both these spout caps down to prevent leaking on the countertop here. And we're going to basically, you know, shake these little strainers down. Sometimes if these strainers get full, you know, when juicing, I like to shake them down in the middle of juicing. While I'm still juicing, I'll shake these guys down a little bit. So next, let's go ahead and check the yields. Looks like the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer made about 15.75 ounces of the cucumber juice. And over on the Slowstar Juicer, looks like it made, let's see, I'd probably say that's about 16.5 ounces of juice. So that made like maybe 3/4 of an ounce more juice in the Slowstar. Next, let's take a look at the pulp. So the pulp created in both machines, yes, definitely it looks like the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer did make some more pulp in the juice. And how much more pulp? Let's see here, if I could estimate. It's probably about 50% more pulp. You know, and this is the nature of the beast. Every juicer is designed with certain design criteria. For example, the size of the screen holes, you know, how the pulp comes out in its process, how much the juicer grinds up the produce. You know, in my test I found the Slowstar juicer actually grinds up more efficiently into smaller particle sizes, thereby releasing more juice. Whereas the Kuvings, you know, does grind up fairly well, but doesn't grind up as well, and also, you know, may leave some more pulp in. So as you guys learned in this test, the Slowstar produced less pulp and produced more yield. So if you're looking for a vertical single auger juicer that produces the most amount of yield with the lowest pulp, I definitely would recommend the Slowstar. That being said, every juicer in the world has its different pros and cons, and I make these videos to share with you guys the pros and cons of each one. For example, if you wanted a vertical slow juicer but you don't want to cut the produce up so much, that's where you'd want to go to the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. It has a wide 3-inch, you know, feed chute, so minimal cutting is required. On many things, it actually yields just fine. Some of my favorite things to juice in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer are the fruits. I find you don't have to cut the fruits as much, and it goes in really easily and juices really great. On the other hand, if you want to juice more vegetables and leafy greens and things like that, that's where the Slowstar would come in. You know, in my test, it actually has yielded more than the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. I mean, other points about these juicers is that the Slowstar does come with a stainless steel strainer, which is really nice to get all that pulp out, which it is creating minimal pulp. And on the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, I like it because it comes with 3 different cleaning brushes. That makes cleanup a breeze. In addition, it also comes with like a 100-page recipe manual that has healthy recipes, including juice recipes and other things, to get you started on the road to health. So if you want to learn more about these particular units, be sure to check my other videos. I have over 300 videos at this time comparing all different juicers, including specialized videos on each juicer, how to use them, how to clean them, and how to do anything you want with the juicers out there. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors. And this is John Kohler, over and out. Alright, this is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. And what we're going to do today is we're going to make the Mean Green Juice. This is a juice that Joe Cross made and drank in his movie Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, which I would highly encourage.